Okay, great. Hello everyone and welcome to What Have I Just Read on Tuesday the 11th of June. And it's so great to be able to do this because we have Anastasia with us in the chapel because she very cleverly set an exam for her students right next to the church this morning, as called being a clever teacher. And we have our Kindle today, of course. So yes, it's great. So the day you come in, we have very, very short passages. And what have we read? Jeremiah.
We've read just 2 verses from Jeremiah,
Yes, exactly.
but I think there is quite a lot of content in them. It's funny because I am actually going to go set an exam to some MSU students in half an hour, and it says, "Do not let the wise boast in their wisdom, or the mighty boast in their might, or the wealth." So all the things that we consider indications of power, that we can put our identity in, like I have this degree, I'm a PhD, or I have like a private jet or something, that none of that actually counts. It's easy to say when you don't have any of those things, but I do for sure notice sometimes like putting my confidence in the academia.
Right.
Nothing else, I don't have anything, so I don't know. But I'm sure like wealthy people probably feel confident because of their financial security, and it just says here that the only thing worth boasting of
it's good that, isn't it?
Is understanding the law and
knowing that I am the Lord. I actually love justice and righteousness in the earth. You can boast about those things.
Yeah, and that's the wisdom, because the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and that's basically what it says. Like understanding that I know me, understand who I am, and consider me as a determining factor of everything else, and then.
Because those are the key things to boast about, as opposed to having fast cars and lots of money. But I'm always struck actually by over and over again by people who have lots of stuff who seem to be inherently miserable.
Yes,
it is true. It's just
and
never.
We know them. We now know them, right? We've lived a while. Now we have the internet. Now we know everything about everyone. We know people commit suicides when they're very outwardly successful and famous, and still people still go to this thing.
There is an emptiness. It's interesting. I see it a lot. And there's a great book I have called Callings, actually, about people being called to preach and to basically be part of the church. It was put together by a guy who's working in Hollywood, in California.
Wow.
Yes, and he said
very godly.
Exactly. And he was definitely working a lot with those people in the first part of this passage. People who have lots of wealth and power. And he said these people were like on your TV every day. They were like shaping the news. They were sort of important in politics. They were big in movies. And he says, I've never come across a bunch of people who are so uncontent and miserable. And he says time and time again, he has to spend all this time dealing with people who just seem to be so inherently unsatisfied, which is just amazing, because he says you think they have it all, but apparently not.
That's not it.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I was also looking at this a very famous actor called Cary Grant. I don't know if you've come across him. He was he's English. He went to America. He was in a lot of Hitchcock movies, and he was he was in North by Northwest, a lot of big movies, and he was the kind of the icon of being most debonair, sophisticated, kind of beautiful guy in the 60s and 70s. He was a real Hollywood icon and star. And I hadn't realised he was very messed up and he was very miserable. And this incredible way, everything about him was a totally curated outer layer that he worked very hard at. But actually, he came from a very sad. He came from a family where he'd been traumatized by his father. He was very successful in movies, and he sort of created this double life. It's amazing, really. So again, someone who's incredibly wealthy, apparently beautiful and successful, but kind of inside, just inherently not particularly happy.
It looks like you're reading from something, just so that you guys know he's not reading.
Oh, yeah.
There is nothing. Well, there is the.
Just keep on referring
what
to
he's
this.
talking about, it's not on there.
I just keep on referring, make sure I'm not wandering too far off this.
Yeah,
but
the New Testament reading is also in a way about possessions and our
Yeah, it's
proper
true.
attitude towards possessions. It's the thought that communists had, right? Everybody, I don't know, I'm sorry if I'm saying something offensive, but how I heard it is that like everybody should share everything and then everyone should take what they need. So
Right.
like everyone should contribute what they can and then everybody else should take what they need. And that sounds very similar to me,
Right.
someone who grew here, so don't judge. So yes, the idea is beautiful, is that we don't have to grab and strive and begrudgingly kind of save, or,
Right,
or begrudgingly
exactly.
give and like save and keep stuff. But instead, with faith, we give up, kind of offer everything up to God, and He then redistributes it the way He sees fit. So in a very functional society, or at least a group of believers, this would work beautifully. Nobody would be in need. However,
It's difficult, but there is a lot of satisfaction in helping others, isn't there? Or in being able to give in some way to help others. Sometimes spending money on others actually feels better than spending it kind of on yourself.
no, but you're still in control when you are spending it on the others.
Yeah,
Imagine giving
it's
it all
true.
up.
Yeah, it's true.
I know for a fact about some sects that do that.
Yes.
And that's, it's not, but ideally this would be a good thing. And Barnabas is called son of encouragement.
I love that.
I love that too, yeah. Because he possibly at a time of need when there was no answer to prayer or there was no obvious source of income, he came with his field. He's like, okay, actually, I'm giving this up for you, and this probably really, encouraged and strengthened everyone.
I mean, it is interesting, isn't it? I mean, because there is the question is that when you once you've sold the money, you bring it. Then who then owns? Because ultimately someone owns it again. Don't they? Is it the group owner it, or is there someone controlling it? That's the problem with sects, isn't it? I think is when you give everything to a sect, actually you're just transferring it often to another person.
Yes, well,
who
when
then
they
exploits
abuse this power,
when they
yes,
abuse it.
of course,
Yeah,
of course.
exactly.
That's what makes it.
That is the system that can be ripe for abuse.
Going back to the previous reading where people put their trust in the riches,
Yeah.
and they boast, well, I don't know if they boast or conceal, but they kind of
Yeah, exactly.
put their faith in the riches and.
But it is true. But it is true exactly. Put your faith more in God and His love and kindness. I guess that's a similar thing here, isn't it? Don't possess all this stuff that we ultimately don't really need.
Well, honestly, we don't really own it. We don't
Exactly.
really own anything, right? Everything we have is not really ours. Like we've been given it, and we are probably very privileged, all of us who are here, like in comparison with some other people. And it's not really ours to hold on to.
Yeah, exactly. It's all quite fleeting.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, but interesting passages. Great.
Short and very dense.
Yeah.
Well, not dense, but full of meaning.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're
Great.
being showered on. We're being.
Yeah, it is now raining, which is good because it means it's getting cooler because
I'll
it's
have
very,
to
very
get a
humid.
boat.
Oh, right. You've got to get to work.
But
Yeah.
anyway, it's been lovely to
Great.
discuss.
It's been good to have you today. Fantastic. Thank you so much for coming. It's really great because we haven't done this for like
Yes,
for
fun. Bring you
weeks,
back
if not
one day
months.
with the-
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
All
Great.
right. Have a lovely
Okay.
day ahead.
Have a wonderful Tuesday, and we'll be back for morning prayer tomorrow. Bye.